Kobi Carp nació en Israel y a los 12 años su vida dio un giro inesperado. Pasó del Medio Oriente al Medio Oeste de los Estados Unidos. Mientras cortaba grama o limpiaba nieve para ganarse la vida, soñaba con la arquitectura. Así que prepárate porque vas a descubrir cómo pasó de dibujar planos a mano a crear diseños que transforman comunidades enteras en el sur de la Florida. Esto es Conversando con Stephanie Cabral de Fe, Familia en Real Estate. Y bien, para quienes no conocen aún a Kobi Carp, es un arquitecto de lujo con base en Miami, fundador de Kobi Carp Architecture and Interior Design. Kobi ha entregado más de $120 mil millones en trabajos galardonados y reconocidos a nivel mundial, que abarcan el Caribe, las Américas, el Mar Negro, el Golfo y Medio Oriente. Entre sus obras más destacadas en el sur de la Florida está Edge House Miami, Wynwood 225 y Hotels de Four Seasons y muchos más. Ha sido galardonado varias veces, por ejemplo, recibió el premio Arquitecto del Año por la American Institute of Architects en Miami. Ahora voy a cambiar al inglés para iniciar esta conversación con Kobi, que hoy me acompaña, y ustedes van a poder ver los subtítulos en español. Así que, welcome to our podcast. Bienvenido, señor.
Thank you so much. That's a very, very nice prelude.
Thank you.
And I appreciate it, and it's because it is an exciting part to be here with you. I love your podcast. And
Thank you.
I love also being here talking about Edge House, which is really on the edge of cutting technology, environmental sustainability. Yes. It is on the cutting edge of how it makes you feel internally. Coming, like you said before, working from the Black Sea to everywhere else in the world and coming originally from the Middle East, from Israel, it really makes me appreciate a developer such as William because he sees the development and the design in a holistic manner. It is the feeling of the ocean, it's the feeling of the sun, it's the feeling of the light that comes in. Mm-hmm. You can see in the video here behind us, the whole natural environment is what we are promoting at Edge House. So with William, we're always on the cutting edge of the design from a sustainability, environmental, emotional. And that is what makes this project, I think, so successful. Mm-hmm. What makes Ivan's job so easy.
To sell the units.
To talk about and to have that sort of relationship. Because when you have amenities that open up to the light, when you have a garden where you can take your kids to and play, where you have a rooftop with amenities, it's just a unique opportunity to have such a product here in Edgewater.
And talking about Edgewater,
yes.
and that was a question that was going to come down the road, but
yes.
Now that you're talking about the project and we're here at the Cell Center, how do you envision Edgewater 5 years from now, 10 years from now?
So Edgewater, which name is being on the edge of Biscayne Bay, is a very unique opportunity for people to have a good quality of life. We have been working and residing here in Edgewater since 20 years. And what I am seeing is that the development of Edgewater is becoming much more of a luxurious home destination. And luxury does not mean expensive. Luxury means good quality of life. You have the park along the water. That park is very unique and special. Nobody else has that kind of a park. We just finished a restaurant there in the historic Women's Club on the marina and on the park. So people in the community can come downstairs, they can have dining, they can have Pura Vida, they can walk along the water. And again, you're on the cutting edge, having your own house, your own home in Edgewater. And I think that being where we are, surrounded by views all the way around the building, and coming downstairs and having great schools, being close to work,
yes.
Being close to public transportation, being close to grocery stores and community right there is an opportunity second to none. Because you can get and walk nearby with your family, with your dog, with your kids, But what happens now, next, so close, if you want to go see a show at the American Airlines Theater, it's boom. If you want to go to the museum,
It's there.
it's right there. If you want to get to the Miami International Airport, it is so close. If you want to get on a cruise or wait for somebody, the opportunity is second to none. If you work in that, forget living, right, or entertainment, if you work in the community, you're near the hospitals, you're near downtown, you're near Brickell. And once the bridge is finished, a new spectacular bridge with the whole underlying park and amenities, you basically have an opportunity here to be on the cutting edge, in Edgewater, on the water's edge, in Edge House, which is a very unique opportunity that cannot and will not be replicated in any way, because to create what William has envisioned in this location, and I say William because he's the one who has been promoting it. You know, I say to William because he's Peruvian by origin, and I say to him, look at what the Peruvians have done in their culture and or even food, how they bring all the cultures together. The same thing we did here with the architecture. We took the Peruvian inspiration of the culture and the community and brought it to Edgewater within Edge House. And I think that design, and that's why I'm proud to work with William, with Adriana Hoyos.
Yes.
You know, such legends and such good people. With
Such a great team that you guys have.
We are very
Blessed.
lucky. We're very blessed that we have the opportunity to work with William and his team. And really, I say to Ivan all the time, Ivan, you know, you make my life easy. You make my job so easy. And that is really an opportunity second to none. You know, you being here, sitting in our home, talking about it, is a very unique opportunity that has never, ever existed in this location to provide a product for so many people that is not only sustainable and environmentally correct, but it's also financially sustainable. It is business-wise makes sense. You buy, you keep it. You can rent it to your family and friends, or you can rent it to others and have cash flow.
No, and also, and it's great what you're saying, because most of our clients come from Latin America and they're looking for a unique product, right? That has a great location, a great design, interior, everything it's combined. So we have everything that an investor is looking for in this location, and this building is luxury. It's rentals, flexible rentals, and it gives them the opportunity to use it when they come to the U.S., maybe a few weeks a year, and then just rent it out and get their money, and receive some money.
And your investment is protected,
Yes.
right? Because what happens is that besides buying it, as you continue to own it, you have cash flow.
Yes. The cash.
Whether it is cash flow from the people who stay there, whether it is the asset itself that now covers the expenses, the taxes, the maintenance. It's a safe financial environment. And I like it very, very much.
And I want to go back, Kobe, to your childhood. And I know you moved to the U.S., like I said before, when you were 12. You came from Israel. You went to Minneapolis, right? You were shoveling snow. You were doing landscaping. And I want you to think, what memories or what lessons did you learn back then that you still use in your daily life? And how, and when did you, discover that the architect was your passion?
So that's a very
Two questions in one.
important question, right? But what's interesting about it is that growing up in Israel, it allowed me to really appreciate the natural environment. What I mean by that is I grew up by the sea, by the Mediterranean. There were orange groves everywhere. So to smell the flowers of the budding of the oranges and then seeing the fruit come and then being able to eat and smell, and being part of the natural environment is so critical, because my first degree when I came to Minneapolis, Minnesota, in the University of Minnesota, is from the Institute of Technology, was not architecture.
Wow.
My first degree was environmental design. And environmental design was to study about how do you design with the environment, how to design correctly. So you have the stone and the marble here. Okay, how does that carve into your space? Being born in Israel, it taught you that architecture is not something that happens today or the past 100 years. You walk around there, you have architecture that goes back 5,000 years.
Yes.
You walk the Sistine Chapel, it's architecture that goes back 1,000 or 2,000 years, right? Now what happens when you go back to places like Israel, you have architecture 5,000 years ago, 4,000, 3, 2, 1. You have that layer effect. So as an architect, as environmental design, it made me appreciate the sustainability and resiliency of the design through our life. Because the building we design today is a great building, but in a few years, somebody else might be living there. And as we go through the passages of time, it makes you appreciate the value of good design and good spaces. I live in a house which was built 100 years ago. People designed that, architect or the people who live there are no longer alive. But the energy, the feeling, the light, the air circulation, the relationship to the gardens is still there. The same thing goes with William and Edge House. William selected this area because of a certain reason. There's a park. There's a bay. There are dolphins in the bay.
Yes.
The environment is what attracted
The people.
William and attracted me to this location. And that's why I believe that the way the building is designed, the way the building is curved, and the way it's oriented creates a value with the natural environment that is second to none, that is continuous in a silent way, that lets people go through life in a very holistic and comprehensive way.
So back then, he said that that helped you, living in Israel, help you combine everything in, in the architecture part of. But when do you say, okay, this is what I want to do the rest of my life? Something that really, when you were a child, that really, mark you or say, from now on, that's what made me really.
I tell you, I didn't really know what an architect does, although I did like to build with my own hands. I didn't really know what environmental design meant, although I did like working in nature. I used to work with a landscaping company. I used to be involved in that, right? In Minnesota as a teenager. What I did see is that through college, I had jobs which were in hospitality.
Okay.
I was the front desk reception for the night shift in hotels. I was the barback at El Torito's restaurant in Minneapolis. So being able to work with how restaurants and hotels operate and understanding the inside guts,
Yes.
it allowed me to say, now I understand how a building functions, but the outside, the way the design is, the way you look, the way I look. I mean, I have two boys. One, they look completely different on the outside, but on the inside, we're pretty much the same. The way we design a building to make it work, to make a building really work, you need to understand it, and it's like a doctor,
Yes.
and put all the parts in the right place. You got to put the heart in the right place. You got to put the lungs, that's the air conditioning. You got to put the kidneys, right? That's the filters. You got to put the veins, and that's the plumbing. What happens then is that the body is like a building, and then when you give it its soul and it's corrected and it's in the right light and it's the right inspiration, you have a successful building that then can stay the length of time.
Through all the years, yeah.
When I grew up in Minnesota, when I started to draw and sketch and make art, I started to understand the value of creating buildings. And I said, that's what an architect does. But there's so many different venues. There's interior architecture, there is landscape architecture, there's structural, there's mechanical, there's all kinds of systems that you can get. What I did learn is that holistic architecture, comprehensive architecture, allowed me to express myself in the most current way that allowed me to deal with most people, because I like to deal with people, in the most comprehensive way, and therefore deliver the product
Yes.
that is the best. That's why somebody like William is perfect for me. Why? He comes in and he has a holistic understanding of the world. He's not just focused on one thing. Some people are just focused on the design, on the stone, on the money,
Yes.
on the glass. No, we are holistic individuals.
Yes.
We're looking for comprehensive solutions and comprehensive ideas that create a comprehensive and strong delivery to the maximum quantity of people with the maximum benefit. And that is very important. If you can make most of the people happy, most of the time, you've succeeded.
Of course. And I like the comprehension and understanding how everything works from the inside.
Yes.
Not only how it looks. So I know you came to Miami in late 80s, right?
1988.
1988.
Miami Vice and Scarface days, as I say.
What can you tell me about that time that you remember of Miami and that made you stay in the city? What made you say, okay, I'm staying in Miami and I'm going to stay here and I'm going to start working here?
So I came here in the 80s, and I came from Minneapolis, which is very cold weather. And what I liked was I liked the light. I liked the tropical sun at sunrise and at sunset and how it hits the buildings, especially the Miami Deco de Maimo buildings. And the tropical environment really appealed to me architecturally. What I did is I joined a firm, a British firm that was building hotels and resorts in the Caribbean, in St. Lucia, in Grenada, Turks and Caicos, Bahamas. And we still work in the Caribbean and the British West Indies quite a bit. And being in Florida allowed us to have easy access to Puerto Rico and the rest of the Caribbean. When we came here to Florida in the late 80s, there was not much going on in Florida. Yeah, it was drug business was very prevalent. But at the end of the day, what made Florida, for me, a home is being able to live in the only subtropical weather climate state in the United States and having the continuous flow of people here. What I see and what I enjoy is a continuous flow of new people. When I came here, I was in my 20s. What I saw is that there was also a large movement of elder people. So there's a mix of young and old, and they come from everywhere. Bless you. They come from everywhere. They come from Eastern Europe. That's how we did Sunny Isles Beach. They come from Latin, South Central America. They come from the United States a lot. There are people coming in from Chicago, San Francisco, Los Angeles,
Yes.
New York. You always have people coming here from everywhere. And that is what makes this location, this destination, extremely special.
Yes. And it still does.
Yes, and that's very exciting for me to be part of it.
And going back to your firm, what makes you, and now understanding more about your story, what makes your firm unique as an architect or design?
What makes the firm unique is the individual people who make the company have a common denominator where they see through my eyes. They see the environment, they see the people, they see the mannerism through my eyes, which makes it unique and special because we have, tens of people. But everybody's from different background. We have unique individuals who are all architects and designers, but from everywhere. Poland, Bulgaria, Romania. We have people from Colombia, Ecuador, Venezuela, right? We have people from Eastern Europe, Western Europe, Haiti, from everywhere. But these people have an ability to see the design through the way I've just described to you, and it makes the quality of the design unique, different, and many people find it very, very successful, which is why our projects, like this project here, is selling quite well for a good price per foot. Well, we're doing the same thing on Fisher Island. We've done it repeatedly. Palazzo della Sol, Palazzo della Luna, 6 residents. We do it repeatedly in many locations. We do it at the Four Seasons in Fort Lauderdale, and we do it at the Four Seasons in Surfside. We do it now in the next project, which is Surf House. We do it in rental communities. We do in the rental communities now in West Palm Beach. Northwood Artistic District. We do projects such as that in North Miami Beach. We bring the good quality of design and good quality of environment into the product, no matter what the product is.
That's great.
It can be workforce housing, like the Lyric Plaza that we finished next to the Lyric Historic Theater in Overtown. So when you come out of Red Rooster and you look across the street, I hear people say, oh, I would love to buy a unit here. Yeah, it's not for sale. It's not for rent. It is affordable housing subsidized by the state. But the way it looks
amazing.
It looks amazing. And that is the important thing. Design, it's not rich or poor. It's the quality that we can provide. And that's why Edge House on the cutting edge in Edgewater, on the edge of the water of Biscayne Bay with the natural environment, with a delightful developer such as William, it is really, really an opportunity second to none.
Love it. And I know time is getting short, but I would love to hear more about your stories about collaborating. I know collaboration for you is very, very important, and I can see now why. And part of your success comes of collaboration.
Yes.
Collaborating with others. Do you have any success story that you can share with us today because of the collaboration this happens and it became greater?
Yes. So I'll give you an example which is specific to this project, right? Because I have known Ms. Hoyos, I would say, about 10, 15 years. And we always wanted to work together. And because we're of the same thought. And then with William, it became together. And so what happened is that we took the public spaces, meaning the place where people walk, the corridor, the elevator, the lobby, the mail room, the theater or the pool area, the amenity, the massage area. We took all of those spaces. And she said to me, Kobe, wouldn't it be nice if when we lay out the spaces, we collaborate and make them unique and special? You can see in the renderings. And what we came up with the curve of the building became the curve of the spaces. And she took it into the pool. She took it into the furniture. She took it into the light fixtures. And pretty soon everything became more natural and curvy, like our body, like our skin, like our smiles, like, the dimples. That's what you want to promote. And that's what I think she, through her studio, in collaboration with us, in my opinion here, has been extremely, extremely successful. Besides that she's an extremely lovely human being to work with.
Yes,
she's very nice. She's very sweet. And so it's really been a pleasure of a team to work with.
And we can see the results.
Yes.
And then this last question will be, you already left a footprint in the Miami skyline, in Miami, and several other cities. How would you like people to remember you besides the architectural part, and what legacy would you like to leave to your children, to your kids?
So I think that the only legacy we leave behind us is when people see your children and or the way they behave as a reflection of what you try to do. Nobody's perfect.
Yes. No.
But we all try to be. And some of us get closer. The notion of what we can do as a legacy and leave the next generation. And it's not just my kids. It's also the people who work in my office. It's the people I surround myself with, right? You want to have the surrounding people look at you and see the benefit that you created for them. The benefit that you can create for the next person, whether it's light, air, comfort, air condition, whatever it is that you have done, is a benefit. Somebody created the technology that allowed us to now relate to each other better. That technology, let's say, happened 100 years ago, and somebody invented flying. Somebody invented hurricane impact glass that gives you privacy and comfort and sound attenuation. Somebody created more efficient air conditioning in our buildings that lets it flow and be quieter from the outside. Like, clear current that we use, right? Mm-hmm. It's a better way to drink the water, to wash ourselves. Those are the things that, as a legacy, I would like to leave behind, just as a simple architect who was able to bring a better quality of life through environment, through sustainability, through environment with people. That is really what I would have liked to do.
It was a pleasure having you here.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank you for having me.
I'm so glad you came and
Very
that,
nice.
that we end up having this conversation and people got to know you a little bit more. People maybe in Latin America don't know you already. They're going to get to know you more now and the designs and specifically this project that we really believe in this project, believe in William's vision and your vision, Adriana's vision that you guys put together in one piece. So,
gracias.
congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
And para ustedes, espero que hayan disfrutado esta entrevista
Sí.
y sé que ha sido bendición y que puedan inspirarse de lo que esta persona, pues obra maestra, ¿verdad? Porque ha hecho obras maestras, pero cómo combina el conocer la parte interior, no solamente cómo se ve físicamente algo, pero sí que le importa, ¿verdad? Saber cómo funcionan las cosas y que las cosas se unan con un propósito. Y esto es lo que el señor Kobe Karp ha logrado en todos estos años. Así que déjanos tus comentarios y nos vemos hasta la próxima. Bendiciones.
Gracias.